Hello and welcome everybody. This is going to be the Daily Dharma. So today, a little bit different. I've got a few decks that had just one card or a couple pop out, and I want to go through those to get us started today. It's a bit of a weird energy that I'm experiencing going into this reading. I feel well presently, but overnight I was woken up at literally 1:11 a.m. this morning on the dot from a really awkward dream, and so I know that that's on my mind. It was something I don't typically have bad dreams, but it was something that came across as me witnessing somebody do something that was wrong, calling them out, and then this person that I had a relationship with coming back and fighting against themselves, whether they did or did not wish harm to me, which seemed really awkward. And then in the moment, I was drawn back into the reading I had posted. I just saw 1:11 on the timer. I was brought back into yesterday's recording of the Daily Dharma, where there was an unexpected victory, and somehow this brought me into a lucid moment more fully in this super long, detailed dream, where then I was able to take control of the situation and it was as if it ended by me almost putting the person on their belly to put cuffs on them, so to speak. So it seems that there's been some type of possibly even betrayal or injustice or retribution that we've had to uh, resolve in some way, or have been working through this. And so, although that energy is quite awkward, there's also this other message that's been working its way through, where we've had some different types of romantic energies, which it doesn't need to be romantic for you. It could just be something based on the one-to-one relationships that we have in our lives. And I'm just going to go on the bend that it's romantic in nature. So flex and bend the message as necessary to fit your situation. But so it seems that our attention was going in one direction recently, and then there's this unexpected return, possibly, but it's not who we expect to come back. And in the dream, I'll even say that even though I thought it was this one person, when they did come in and were struggling with this, they had morphed into somebody from my past that I hadn't really thought about in a long time, and not somebody who would have any beef with me, so to speak, that I could think of. And then at the end, when I was so-called putting the cuffs on, it was then not only either of these gentlemen, but now it was a woman that was laying down. And so there's something unexpected, shape-shifty, like who's on first, what's on second type of a thing. I don't know that joke, but it comes in for some type of a reason. So I'm curious how this plays in. Let me start with the pre-messages here. So the first one that I was shuffling is this Akashic Tarot, and the card that comes out is Major Arcana 17, the Lookout. I left the lights on dim today. I hope that doesn't interfere too much with your ability to see the cards. I may even pause real quick and just turn that light on for you. Bear with me. So the Lookout card is all about this burning ship, something that's not going according to plan, or something that's causing a lot of upheaval, turmoil, stress, anxiety, or fear, literally fear at the base. But so interestingly, it comes out with the Three of Scrolls, setting your course. And so look at the way that they're looking as well. The one is looking forward, the other is looking into the past. And so it may be something that we have been looking at in our past for some type of hope or spark of renewal in some type of a way. Like, this is almost even giving wanting a bad boss to give you the promotion, or wanting the toxic ex to get their stuff together and come back renewed and reformed. Um, those are things that just seem not only highly unlikely, but clinging to the hope of behavior changing without any evidence or indication that that's what is really supposed to happen. How that kind of feels so it literally hopeless and all of these other things. And so it's like I feel like we're redirecting our attention from something in some way, like even let's say even having a romantic interest in somebody that isn't really um, coming back, like ping ping, crickets, or just barely better than that. Not saying that this person is breadcrumbing, but just that maybe there's not that mutual receptivity going on where there's that clear and present exchange going on here. And so it looks like you're redirecting your energies and looking towards the future in a little bit different way. So if, for instance, this was to do with a family member, it's like, okay, I understand that there's differences, but if we want to go forward, uh, maybe setting some boundaries with these are the things that we don't agree on, and directing our attention towards hope for the future and what does connect us, or reformatting a relationship. Let's say, like, the parent of your children, and then you guys have broken up, and it's like, are we going to work it out? And finally, it's like, no, it's really not working out. So let's go forward, but let's agree to disagree on certain things. But know that because we have combined work to do together, such as raising the children in some way, that there's got to be this way that we can negotiate how to deal with each other and make a plan to make it seamless as possible and in everyone's interest moving forward. So the next deck here is the Beyond Lemuria deck. The one that comes out is Master number 22, the Crystal Keys. And this one is talking about remembrance and uh, in stored memories, how the crystalline development of molecules in water, for instance, and with the rice experiments and that type of thing, where they've actually demonstrated the receptivity of the molecules and how they respond to our interaction with them, coming out with, no lie, this master number 11. So we've got 1122 here, ether. And it's written, described as the seamless, unspeakable. So what this was giving is two things. On the third dimensional level of interacting with people that aren't possibly healthy for us or changing behaviors, the seamless unspeakable is giving this energy of they've already done some series of things, or one or two things that's maybe not healthy, maybe toxic, some level such as that. But then there's this one or two things that are just full stop deal breakers for where you place that line in the sand between your boundary and how you allow and tolerate others to connect with you in your experience. And so on the higher aspect, it's like with these crystal keys, it's like no matter how things develop, I think that all of these bubbles are the multiplicity of potentials on the quantum level, and how you're able to clue into those and some type of a way to, it's like in the dream, becoming lucid in the moment. It's like here I was immersed in this fearful drama, and then I was like, oh yeah, but based on a tarot reading, based on what my channel from the divine telling me, there is truly nothing to fear here. Things are going to be okay going forward. You can trust this. You don't need to worry. The moment will present and you will make your way through this portal unscathed and protected. And so in the moment, I became lucid in the dream because of that belief that I had, and because somebody had told me about it. So it's giving again that depiction that came out a few days ago with Neo, and he goes to see the Oracle, and she's like, by the way, you're forgiven. And then he turns around and he knocks over the thing that she was saying he was forgiven for breaking, and it breaks. And it's like chicken or egg type of stuff. And so that seems to be taking me away from what is intended here. But so the ether and the seamless unspeakable, it's like I knew in the dream that I was possibly outmatched, outmuscled, and it was a physical threat to my beingness and my safety and security. And I mean, there was so much more to the dream, but it's like it was giving me the metaphor that our lives, our dreams perhaps, is kind of similar and could be alchemized within our energetic levels. Our multidimensionality can alchemize our waking reality based upon our ability to become lucid in the moment. And the way Spirit often communicates this to me is all these old cult classic movies, this one being The Labyrinth with David Bowie. It's so old, almost as old as me, and I think. And it's like the main character keeps getting lost in these situations where she can't quite get a chance to save her younger brother from the Goblin King. And the thing that she has trouble remembering is the line in the play that is, "You have no power over me." And I think that that's kind of the essence of something that wants to come into the reading, that something no longer holds the power it once held over you. So if this is some kind of whether it's a family or lover dynamic, there's a need to rewrite the script, rewrite the expected ending, and to focus on the future in a new way. And I feel like you've already been doing that, but there's something or someone kind of creating this lag time and still trying to manifest a way to maintain their hooks in you, which of course, if this is a family dynamic, it would make sense that there's a lot of ancestral karma working through you guys having this exchange. And in partnerships, it can almost be no different, I want to say, especially because in the DIY deck, I was shuffling that. I saw both father issues with some other cards, and then mother issues remains on the bottom of the deck with some other things coming forward. But it does come out with completion, leveling up, introvert, some time spent looking at oneself, coming to see you. Somebody wants to connect with you, whether that's on the ethers of the internet or the phone, telecommunication or something. But they're also coming up with that you're kind of scared to commit to something. I don't know if they want to connect or have you come visit them or them come to visit you, but it looks like you're going to also, at the same time as navigating these issues, within possibly the next 48 hours for some of you, have some type of overlooked opportunity coming back around, which is unexpected. It's not the dark, toxic past. It's something else that never came to pass because of all of these other things that had been blocking. And so it was something that was like almost like you couldn't see it because of the dust storm or the storms of life, the dramas, the parental issues that come to mind, or some kind of smoke and mirrors and manipulation even for some of you. And then we have a glow up going on, bringing out your resurgence, this extroversion energy of wanting to bring forward that time. So maybe you were shy in the past and this is now coming full circle. And it possibly could even be happening for some of you between the next 48 hours and the next full moon cycle, which for us now is maybe like 7 to 8 days away from now. So we're getting close. So there may be an opportunity to have a deep conversation with somebody So yeah, somebody's trying to connect with you in that way. So here's where it kind of takes a little turn and gets a little bit more romantic. So I've got this affirmations deck that underneath we've got the Hubba Hubba card, which I'll read the back of that in a minute. And on the back of the deck, it says, a little heads up on an addiction that afflicts all really old souls. Giving love eventually becomes an even greater need than receiving love. See, you're not so strange. Love the universe. And so to me, this is talking a little bit more about the old mother father wounds and your love style, your love language, moving into and navigating whatever it is that we're talking about here, and how you put things that are unspeakable, um, whether it's betrayals or the sins of the mothers and fathers, and our resulting, whether it's addictions, coping mechanisms, codependency, especially with this addiction to love people so much, whether that becomes people pleasing or service work or discounting, playing small yourself to elevate others. It's like these types of things are things that many old souls are learning about now. It's because we're here to learn about unconditional love. And because we're here to learn that, we go into one extreme or the other with how we then extend and then need to recuperate. It's like, introverts, once you get all your peopling that you can stand, it's sometimes important to really close out the world and maybe even turn off your ringer or not answer some calls for a little bit, depending on how overextended you feel from dealing with this type of energy out in the world. And part of becoming lucid is to understand that that is just the mark of managing our own energetic exchange, that electromagnetic resurging energy, that reciprocating energy. Um, it's showing me some power tools right now, which seems a little bit different, but maybe that means something to somebody here. So hubba hubba, your treasure is at hand too. That's gorgeous energy. That dreamy look of deep soulful love that you've sometimes seen in the eyes of another as they gazed into your own. Expect a lot more of it. Woohoo, the universe. So something is about to warm up. This one came out yesterday, and I promise I did a lot of shuffling. That's why they're not all the same as yesterday. So your treasure is at hand. Things are not as they appear. So this card here talks about comparison, and whether you're comparing yourself to others or comparing your new prospects to your exes, or one person's plight or luck to another's. It says, sure, you can always find prettier, handsomer, skinnier, wiser, richer, younger, zippier. But more often than not, one learns the most, laughs the loudest, and smiles the widest with those they've already found, especially when they stop looking elsewhere. Actually, zippier is on quite a few lists. Tally ho, the universe. So it's talking about that unconditional love, and how, as much as we can, with the people who warrant our compromise and our own lessons to be learned. They're inviting us to grow. And so there's a couple things coming forward where it's like we need to stop demonizing things that we don't understand and become a little bit more curious about what it is that this is trying to show us. And I find with these cards that that's exactly the process that you're going into. And so for me, for instance, this is bringing in, I know, again, a lot more about politics, a lot of more interesting grammatical error there. Anyways, it's giving me the difference between the right and the left right now in the US and many other places where there's this rise of the authoritarian. And I believe that what we're being shown, if we have the eyes and ears to hear and see, that this is part of the age of Aquarius, and it's any energy that's on its way out. We can even see this with people that are transitioning out of their physicality into the ethers in at the end of life, where people can become so much more of what they were, and it can represent so many different things. But what it's giving to me is this difference of the left and the right, and how the both, I don't want to play the both sides thing, I really don't, but as a part of our nature as humans, humanity in general, as we are egoic beings, we tend to defend what we already know and stop looking elsewhere because we already know what we know. But at the same token, we kind of have to always be looking to unlearn and stretch the imagination and so on. And so I think that it's important to, again, to see what we cannot agree on and what we can agree on, and to really double down on what do we want to generate in this world. Do we want to create unity? And if unity and love over fear is what we desire here, then it really behooves us to look at the other individuals and to not discount themselves and raise ourselves up in some mock superiority that only tells us that our ego is the correct and not the higher heart. But then it's and I keep getting these messages, so I'm not going to tangent anymore on that. I'm just going to put that away. And it does look like, whether we're talking again about family, friends, or love conquests, or loved ones, even those that we're moving away from, there's some kind of a need to continue the sacred work without um, discarding each other, and then just finding that same lesson in the next person and the next person. Again, with the mother father issues here, moving forward into our adulting behaviors and our quest for love and acceptance in the world, and comparisons and judgments. So here, these ones are also beautiful cards. We have all there is to love has been there all along. And so if you've had some kind of a blindfold ripped off, um, don't become too lost in your fears or anxieties or blame mindsets. Um, and so let me just, again, get back to the card. It says, when you begin to find love in people and in places where you haven't found it before, it's always because you've grown. You so rock the universe. So this was also, in addition to all the health and healing and mental, emotional, psychological things that we're healing and working through and integrating, this may be someone that overlooked opportunity here. They're calling our attention to, because we may have a romantic partner patterning that doesn't lend itself to true compatibility and healthy exchange. Even no matter how much the codependency at work or play within that situation has kind of helped connect and perpetuate the experience, I think that you're moving away from one thing that doesn't suit into the rainbows and unicorns type phase here of more magic in your daily life by changing all that you are and resolving these issues. So it's like, if we've had to go non-contact, there's still something that needs to be resolved with them, or else we will need to work through it separately. And if it's not healthy to work it through it with them directly, something like a counselor or therapist is absolutely helpful for many. But again, back to the romantic thing, it looks like there's somebody that wasn't our type, or that, oh, well, I'd never work out with them because I need somebody like blah, blah, blah back in the past. And I think that you're outgrowing this. And this could also, again, if you need to flip it, this might be somebody that you've always had a crush on but had to walk away because it's like they're all caught up in this toxic ex thing, or like this revolving door relationship that's like, oh, big time red flag. Yeah, no, no, no. Something like that. Or it could be somebody that's really sweet and shy and introverted on the surface, and you're like, yeah, I can't get down with that because I've got this bigger personality. But there's this shift going on where it's like, it's brought back to our attention for a reason, because now we're like, now knowing what I know about how drama feels and how unfulfilling it becomes, maybe somebody softer and gentler is exactly the medicine that's necessary to balance something out. And maybe the same thing can be said for the relationships that are troubling or challenging. Maybe we need to get out of that mirroring energy that creates more and more stubbornness and conflict energy, and start saying, what can we connect on, if anything? I think you get what I'm meaning here. And so, what would love do in your situation? Not fear. Do you know why it's so easy for us in the unseen to quickly pinpoint your whereabouts? You leave behind footprints of love. Ah, the universe. P.S. The legend of Bigfoot continues. Yeah, these are kind of silly and crazy, so I don't know if there's some personal messages in there for you, but yeah, it's these, the energy of whatever lies in our heart, whether it's dormant or activated, is always in this situation of becoming. And so the more that we employ the work of the ethers, that vibrational resonance of our heart, whether we're operating and accentuating and bolstering the fear or the love polarity in our lives, in our sacred mirroring process of relating to whomever we may be talking about, it's like other people have called it ribbons of energy, whether that's fear or love. I sometimes see it also as our emanation. It's our Merkaba field. And the more awareness, the more aligned we become, the more sacred alchemical magicians we become. We are that divine rainbow bridge between earth and so-called heaven, that we are birthing the temple and the sanctuary here on earth, in real time, and so it's like the more that we become, we just send this emanation out. And to me, it's in all ways, at all times, that multiversal Merkaba. And as we send healing, if we can fill ourselves to such a degree, we become this nested resonance that can help join with others in that unity consciousness across the ethers, without speaking, without knowing, just understanding, becoming lucid in the moment, that says love is more powerful than fear. And so those of us that can clue into love are exponential. And when we can connect with that undividedly with our attention in some type of a way, and whether we have to forgive somebody, just get that energy cleared out, cord cutting, any type of ritual, cleansing, clearing energy. Make sure that you're giving yourself permission to be fantastic and not to be limited by the false judgments or comparisons or the supposed perceived betrayals or whatnot from others, real or imagined, because it's in the etheric, it doesn't matter. We can be wounded once, and that energy is somewhat just there. But we don't need to relive that energy on repeat and re-evidence that into the etheric field any further. Now we're getting this lag time. So apologies if you're seeing that on camera. Let's finish this up here. The next one is what to do. Start where you are. It's not about the past. It's about really immersing yourself in hope and faith and trust that if we can just continue to be discerning in the energy that we swim in, that lucid dream can become the reality. It says on the backside of this, the great thing about feeling deep, profound, earth-shaking love is that you can start with anyone. Next, the universe. So whether your parents truly didn't meet your needs, whether your exes or prospects are able to honor your amazing qualities, skills, or the beauty of your soul and what your purpose and your potential is, it matters not. What matters is how you continue to believe or to design a life that is meaningful and uplifting for yourself that you feel passionate about. Healing wants to come off the bottom of the deck. Communication and synergy, look at that, 14 and 41. It's the divine mirror and how we communicate to the universe what we want to see and work with, and so on. So 29, healing the love and recognizing that we have been the love that we've been waiting for all along. Let's see if there's any final code cards that want to come out here. We're running out of time. I really appreciate you guys showing up for me and watching the videos. Don't forget to hit some of those buttons, especially that bell, so you see when the Daily Dharma loads. Right now, I'm about 24 to 30 some odd hours before an upload happens, so a lot of lag time happening between when the energies are grounding into my energy and when they're broadcast out. So we're healing the way that we ground into our experience, the foundations of our life, by the way that we speak, feel, think, and the truths that we hold, and letting some type of forgiveness and transmutation happen where we have some level of compassion for everything that is in our life. And that compassion is number 15, which talks about addiction, codependency, attachment energies, and really creating freedom in our lives. So this is the time where freedom is going to be realized. The past is going to be alchemized in an unprecedented way, and unexpected developments will be heading our way. Sacral chakra, there is a lot of chakra energy coming through and being healed. Now we do have Merkaba at the bottom, compassion here. And this is revealing, yep, there's that sacred remembrance. And during times of significant change, it's important to recognize our need for self-healing and introversion and transcendence, integration time. Remember how these dynamics are just people navigating their ego, and it's up to us to expand what helps, what heals. That's what unity consciousness is. It's tempting to get back into those old patterns, but we are escaping. We are the way showers. And yeah, I'm sending you guys so much love in this coming time. Take good care of yourselves. Check out our other messages. And until next time, take care.